What is going on, Sales Dev Squad? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Sales Dev Squad podcast. We got a super special episode for you guys today. I wanted to dive deeper into this idea and concept around personal branding, right? And pretty much how to build your personal brand during COVID. So I might have mentioned this before that COVID especially has just absolutely changed the way businesses have sort of needed to operate in this short-term period. COVID has absolutely changed the way we as humans work on a daily basis. And most importantly, right now, especially, we are consuming a ton of content, whether that be on the news, social media, radio, music, right? I mean, we suddenly have more time than we've ever had before to consume content, right? And so in terms of just speaking of like opportunities to just get yourself out there and build a following and creating a company for that matter is really optimal at this given period. And so I just wanted to cover a bit more on just some ideas out there for anyone looking to sort of start or create a personal brand and maybe why it's important, right? And so if we think of why someone would want to create a personal brand, I could be, for several different reasons, right? Sort of trying to create additional like revenue streams and income opportunities for you, sort of establishing yourself as an influencer of some sort, or to gain, a specific following, whether it's sort of like the lifestyle that you're trying to attain, right? You want to have a more flexible and lifestyle, and to basically, create your content in substitute of, basically working a 9 to 5, right? And so, it's interesting, right? Because my parents are a lot older. They're about like 50s to 60s. And, the way that they've had to have an income and support themselves is through very traditional methods of, working a job and working that job until you're 65 and can financially retire. And that's, how it works, or how it's sort of been. And so what's interesting with our generation, or just right now in 2020, is with all these technology platforms and the power of the internet, I mean, there's just so many opportunities and ways to make a living and sort of not work a 9 to 5 and sort of have a flexible lifestyle through being an influencer, creating content yourself, providing services to others, right? The internet and technology have allowed us to connect more seamlessly than ever before. And so I'll just head into our first tip here for, how to build your personal brand. And that's, you have to pretty much ask yourself, like, what's your direction, right? Like, where are you trying to head? Is this more personal? Is this a business idea? Are you sort of meshing to really just ask yourself, like, what the direction that you want to take your brand, that you want to take yourself, like what area do you feel like you're being pointed or directed to, even in terms of just thinking about like what type of content, right? The topic, the industry, like what direction are you headed, and sort of think like what's interesting to you, what are you passionate about, what do you feel like others would like to learn that you might have to offer, and maybe perhaps like what you feel like isn't out there and how you can sort of create that, right? And sort of just kind of ask yourself, like, what is your direction? And the second thing that I would like to suggest is, what is the experience, right? What's the flavor, right? If we look at brands, for example, like Coca-Cola, the colors they use, the music they use, the people they use, and all the advertisements that we've seen for Coca-Cola, right? It's a refreshing beverage, it's a family beverage, it's an American beverage, right? These are sort of themes and experiences that the consumer goes through as they think of the brand Coke, and really that's all brands are, right? Are just experiences, or the way people experience your brand and what the flavor is, essentially, right? And so our second tip here is like, what's the flavor of your brand? Like what what taste are you going for? How should your audience respond when dealing with your specific brand? So just pretty much thinking of like what the flavor is, like what is the experience that you want people or individuals or your following to feel as they interact with your brand, right? Your personal brand. And so this brings me to like our third topic here, right? Which what I'm really passionate about is like, okay, like what will your content be like, right? And it's super important to start sort of thinking about content because it's hot right now, and it's, really what presents your brand as unique, right? Like what type of content do you foresee your brand leveraging, right? If I'm a dog treat company, my content is going to be probably a lot of like doggy influencers, right? Or cute pictures of animals, or basically, you're creating your content based off of what your audience likes and what they want and what's trending in that space, right? And so if you really just kind of ask yourself, like, what will your content be like? Or pretty much like kind of putting the pieces together, right? Like what's your audience, what's your direction, what's your flavor, and sort of that can kind of lead you down as far as like what sort of content would be ideal for your brand. And so these are just, my sort of entry-level tips here on starting your personal brand. At the end of the day, guys, the best personal brands are just people who are authentic, who are genuine, who are just open and real, and have that element of, creativity, which at the end of the day is just your unique flavor, right? Your unique characteristics that makes you so special that there aren't two people exactly like you, even if you are like a twin like myself. But the idea is if you just be yourself, you're sort of authentic in that way. And so I'm hoping these tips were helpful, guys. If you found any of these tips helpful or any of our videos valuable at all, please smash that subscribe button. Would definitely appreciate it, as well as giving this video a thumbs up. We're going to be posting a lot more content here, especially on like personal branding in general, marketing, and feel free to check out our website, Sales Dev Source, to learn more about just sort of the branding services that we offer. And really appreciate your guys' time, and Sales Dev Squad will catch you on the next one.